Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Shemi Awashai, by Shemi Kakwadash. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the word calls God, and his name in the Hebrew means he exists, and Yahweh's name is the only begotten Son, who the word calls Jesus Christ, and his name in Hebrew means he delivers, by Shemi's in the name of Kakwadash, the Holy Spirit. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who well. Peace and blessings unto the sheriff and this push forward in the truth. That the four corners of the earth. I want to say shalom to you brothers. Keep pushing. And a double shalom unto the Israelites just look like the other nation that just shall with them. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters as well. My name is Dwight from G-Man St. Louis Camp. And I'll come back at it with another video. And it's going to be an impromptu. So I just ran across this article. And it says, man who died and came back to life says you go to the peaceful spirit realm. So to the peaceful spirit realm. So this was published in 1403. So I'm sure that's military time. So it's what, 203. So March 23rd. So this is a few days ago actually. And for this appears to be an Edomite. And it looked like that's his wife, so a Moabite. Okay. And for those of you brothers and sisters out there that has been watching, this is not the first time that this happened. Okay. You had a few Edomites that died and then went to the spirit realm. I don't know who the brother is. I don't know what branch he's a part of in Great Millstone, but the name of his channel is GMS in Rome on Fire, something like that. And he said that his wife was a nurse and she worked in the ER, like with patients and all that. And an Edomite that died and basically like went into detail about what he saw on the other side and said that he wasn't important. Okay, so this is none other than the spirit of power Yahweh Shemi Awashai is basically bringing the truth to the forefront, because we're in a time of truth being pushed at an all-time high. Because the scripture says what knowledge shall be increased. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to hop into the article and pull some precepts and love and be edifying. A man who died before being brought back to life says, you don't just go towards the light, like so many popular interpretations of death suggest, but go to a peaceful spirit realm. Okay? So it says 55-year-old Kevin Hill suffers from a rare and serious condition called calciphylasis, where calcium accumulates in small blood vessels and fat and skin tissues. His really serious issues started when dead skin caused by blistering started eating his live skin, leaving him in agony, right? So the Lord brought judgment upon this guy. Okay. Eventually he bled out and lost 5 pints of blood, causing his heart to stop before the doctor then resuscitated him. However, Slaki for the ads, violent and horrible that sounds, Kevin says that his experience of death was actually peaceful and he was well aware that he died. All right, so Kevin found himself in real trouble after contracted the rare illness. So that's him right there. So yeah, it says that you aware that you dead. It says in the end, doctors managed to bring him back to life, dubbing him the Miracle Man. The writer from Derbyshire in the UK said, I wasn't looking down at my body, but I was separate from my body. It was like I was in the spirit realm. I was conscious of what was going on, but I had so much peace. I knew I was bleeding. I knew it was serious. The staff kept coming in and out to stop the bleeding. Then he found himself standing right beside his body, watching the medical staff rush around to save his life. Says he continued, I knew I had died. I was separate from my body. Then I just went to sleep and I woke up alive and the bleeding had stopped. I knew it wasn't my time to die. The situation had made me refocus my priorities. Right, so yeah, that's him right there. When I came out the hospital, my family atmosphere changed dramatically. I have become more resilient. I know I can bounce back. Kevin's problem started back in 2021 when his legs became swollen after retaining excess water. Right? So yeah. So yeah, this dude, he died. I was all like, he was in so much peace. Okay, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing. So yeah, another Edomite. A woman once baffled doctors when she came back to life after being dead for more than 17 hours. Right? Hey, because this is possible. All right? See that? Look, boom. 1440. Boom, man. Man, the spirit of power, how about Shemiah Shah is awesome. It's amazing. Okay? But yeah, another Edomite. All right? But kind. So this is 2nd Esdras 14 and 35. And it reads, "For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared." Right? Because basically what happens is when you die, in which modern medicine and, well, it's really Yahweh Shemiah Shai, but Yahweh Shemiah Shai gave Esau certain things to, resuscitate you, like the shock paddles and stuff like that to bring you back. And, these different machines. And I mean, even then, I just read about the Edomite woman who said that she came back to life, even being dead for 17 hours. So almost a 24-hour day. All right. Day and a half. Okay. She came back. Okay. And if the Lord wants you to come back, hey, you come back. If He wants you to go, you'll go. Okay. But Karen, yeah, the spirit world does exist. And our forefathers, they knew about the spirit realm. So this is 1 Samuel 28. And I'm going to just get to the point. So yeah, this is our forefather Saul when he went to visit the witch of Endor. Okay. And I'm going to start at 11. Then said the woman, "Whom shall I bring up unto thee?" And he said, "Bring me up Samuel." And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, "Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul." And the king said unto her, "Be not afraid for what thou sawest." And the woman cried unto Saul, "I saw gods ascending out of the earth," right? So I saw powers, so spirits. And he said unto her, "What form is he of?" And she said, "An old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle." And Saul perceived it was Samuel. And he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, "Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up?" And Saul answered, "I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me. And Yahweh is departed from me and answered me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do." Right. So this is Saul, he's being a nigga, of course, because the Most High rejected him. So he had to get that left hand power, okay, to basically go to the other side, contact the dead. All right. And they show you that in these different horror movies, like Insidious, Contacting the Dead. What's the other movie? Annabelle. All right. Where these people that's playing with these Ouija boards and connecting with these demons. Yeah, so people know how to do that. Connecting with these demons or these spirits from the other side. Okay. And it says, Verse 16. Then said Samuel, wherefore then dost thou ask of me, seeing that the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thy enemy? So why you asking me for? Like the Lord, the one that don't fuck with you. And the Lord have done to him as he spake by me, for the Lord have rent the kingdom out of thy hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even unto David, because thou obeyedest not the voice of the Lord, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore have the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Right? Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me, said the Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Right? So the Lord, well, not the Lord. So Samuel basically prophesied unto Saul, and he said that you and your sons gonna be with me tomorrow. All right, and where was Samuel at? In the spirit world. Okay, so that's where all spirits go. It's where the Most High and his angels dwell in. They dwell in what? The third heaven. Okay. So kind. Yeah, hey, and all spirits go there. You know, so yeah, that's what happens when you die. Your spirit leaves your body. So this is 2 Corinthians 5:10, and it reads, for we all must appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that have he done, whether it be good or bad. Right, so we all must appear before the judgment seat. You know, so everything that we did in our body, whether it's good or bad, okay, because that's what's supposed to happen. All right, because everybody will be judged, especially since this is the last days. So the final judgment is what? Whether if you live or die, you perish or get saved. Or even if you had to die for this truth, then you still be saved. Because you stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? So I was going to go to Job. So Job 3. This is Job 3. This is when Job was in so much agony and pain because the Lord allowed Satan to touch him. Okay, is to put them hells on him. All right, he had boils. His wife was bucking up against him and telling him to curse the Most High and die. All right, he lost his riches and he lost his children. Okay, so let's see what he said. Job 3:11. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Why did the knees prevent me, or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest. Right? So he was all like, man, I should have just never been born. I should have just died. You know, because I would have been in the spirit world, because the spirit world is what? Peace. All right? Because when you go to the other side, you know, they not worried about bills and going to work and punching the clock. Or they ain't got to worry about people breaking into their cars or their houses and stealing from them. Or being impressed by Esau, Edom. They ain't got to worry about that. All right, verse 14. It says, with kings and counselors of the earth which built desolate places for themselves. Or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or as a hidden untimely birth, I had not been. As infants which never saw the light. Right, so a miscarriage. Okay. And it's the point. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of their oppressors. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Right. So yeah, everybody goes to the spirit realm. Hey, even you damn devils, you Edomites, obviously. Okay. Going back to going back to the spirit realm. Okay. And it's a little bit more. Read it. Might as well go ahead and read it. Velma Thomas had a heart attack at her home in Virginia in 2008 and was rushed to the hospital. While there, she had 2 more heart attacks and was placed on life support, and all her heart stopped beating 3 times and she was clinically dead, with no brain activity for 17 hours. But 10 minutes after she was taken off life support, while the doctors were preparing to take her organs for donation, she woke up. Heart specialist Kevin Ingleston said at the time, "There are things that as physicians and nurses, we can't always explain. I think this is one of those cases." Speaking after the incident, her stunned son Tim said, "We just prayed and prayed, and I came to the conclusion that she wasn't going to make it. I was given confirmation from God to take her off the ventilator, and my pastor said the same thing. I felt a sense of peace that I made the right decision." Her skin had already started hardening. Her hands and toes were curling up. There was no life there. He said he left the hospital, but then received a phone call from medics saying she was showing signs of life. He rushed back to the hospital and found his mom alive and alert, asking for her son. The incident was hailed as a miracle by Dr. Eaglestone, or Egglestone. All right. The super rare occurrence is known as Lazarus syndrome, or autoresuscitation after failed cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and is the spontaneous return of a normal heartbeat following failed attempts at resuscitation. Right, so yeah, that's a good name for it. Lazarus symbol, Lazarus syndrome. Okay. All right, so yeah, everything goes back to the scriptures, and the Lord, the Lord raised Lazarus from the dead. Okay, and Lazarus was dead for a few days. This is John 11:1. Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Yahushua heard that, he said, his sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of Yahweh, that the Son of Man might be glorified thereby. So the Lord, he already knew. Okay? Because he was the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, so he was fully connected to Yahweh. All right? Because Yahushua is basically, it's like Yahweh in the flesh. All right? Like a mini Yahweh. All right? So he already was on game about his body. You know, because he moved 100% in the spirit. All right? So yeah, that was the whole reason why that happened. Because it was just to glorify Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right? It said, now Yahushua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard thereof that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that said he to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. Okay? All right, so yeah, he abode 2 days. so he was chilling. Right, because he already knew what was going to happen. His disciples said unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again? Yahushua answered, Are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things he said, and after he said unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go and I may awake him out of his sleep. Then said his disciples, Lord, if he is asleep, he shall do well. Howbeit, Yahushua spake of his death. But they thought that he had spoken of taking of rest and sleep. Right? Because when you die, you sleep. Okay, it's like taking a nap. Okay, it's like you go into the spirit world, you dream. Because the spirit world it's like a dream, and then you come back in the third and fourth generation of your lineage. Okay, now Esau, not to get off topic, now Esau knew that. So that's why he did everything in his power to cut off our lineage, to keep us from reproducing. All right. It says, then said Yahweh unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead. And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent that ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. All right, so man, I'm glad I wasn't there. So I'm glad he did. So I can go to his house and raise him up. All right. So yeah, that's the Lord's attitude. He was 100% confident. You got to picture this. When Yahweh Shah was talking, and a lot of them was like, what? Cause you bug out. Like, wait a minute, like, what is he talking about? This like Lazarus dead. Like, what you talking about? Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, let us go, that we may die with him. Then when Yahweh came, he found that he laid in the grave 4 days already. Now Bethany was high unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahweh was coming, went and met him, but Mary still sat in the house. So let's hop down. Let's hop down to 25. It says, Yahweh said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? Yeah, so this is what I wanted right here. So verse 32. Then when Mary was come where Yahweh was, and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. When Yahweh therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled. And, so like he groaned, so he was like, and said, where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Yahweh wept. So let's go down some more. There's a lot of Jews on this. It says, verse 41, then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid, and Yahweh lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound with a napkin. Yahweh said unto them, loose him and let him go. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahweh did believed on him. Right. So it's nothing for Yahweh to raise the dead. Like even some brothers is just gonna have to get put to death for this truth. And Lord willing, I don't. But if I do, then guess what? I'll be risen back up. And you got to believe that. Okay? And this is another one that I wanted to get. And then I'm going to close it off. Lord willing. So 2 Kings. It says, so 2 Kings 4. Verse 32. And when Elisha was come into the house, behold, the child was dead and lay upon his bed. He went in therefore and shut the door upon them twain and prayed unto the Lord. And he went up and lay upon the child and put his mouth upon his mouth and his eyes upon his eyes and his hands upon his hands and stretched himself upon the child. And the flesh of the child waxed warm. Then he returned and walked in the house to and fro and went up and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed 7 times and the child opened his eyes. Right. And so, yeah, this child, he was dead for a few days, I believe. Okay. And the Lord raised him up. Okay. So so the Lord can do these things. You know. And I just thought of one more verse. Slack you. Matter of fact, 2 more verses. So Hebrews 9:27. And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. Right. So yeah. So once, see now, I done heard other Hebrew Israelites that believe in hell to say this. Okay. And that's not true. Okay. Well, the way how they breaking it down, the truth is not true. But the scriptures is true. Because like Yahweh Shai, right? And it's like the child and Lazarus, they died twice. So that's what that's talking about. That's talking about when they come back in another life, which is the judgment. You know, because you die, then you go to the spirit world, and you get your judgment, then you come back. But Yahweh Shai defied all logic. You know, because he was raising the dead, healing the sick, healing the blind, like those miracles. Okay. It's Exodus 20. And I'm gonna start at 1. And Yahweh Shah spake, Salakia, and Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I'm the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me. Right. So yeah, the 3rd and 4th generation. Okay, because that's when the Lord judge you. He judge you the 3rd and the 4th generation. So that's when you come back. Okay. In reincarnation. All right. But I'm going to end it off with that. I want to say shalom.